Chosen one, stop everything immediately. Not in a few minutes, not after you wrap up whatever you're doing right now. Right this very instant. Because what I'm about to tell you isn't something you can play in the background while scrolling or multitasking. This requires your complete focus, your full presence, your total awareness. What I discovered about you while preparing this message left me speechless. I sat in complete stillness for almost 10 minutes. You achieved something truly remarkable, and no, this isn't about some conscious effort you made to impress the heavens or prove your worth. I'm talking about something that arose so naturally from the deepest part of who you truly are that you didn't even realize the massive ripple you sent through unseen spiritual realms. You crossed a sacred boundary that very few ever reach. I can already sense the thoughts flashing through your mind. You're wondering if this is exaggerated, if I'm using dramatic words just to make you feel special, if this is yet another spiritual video full of big promises but no real substance. But here's the turning point. Everything shifts now. I'm not asking you to take my words on faith alone. I'm going to lay out clear, unmistakable evidence. I'll identify exactly what you did, the precise instant it occurred, and why it triggered a reaction in the higher realms that even the original divine design didn't anticipate. Hit subscribe right now and turn on all notifications, because what you're about to understand about your real place in the cosmic order will completely change how you see yourself and reshape every difficult moment you've lived through until today. Stay with me until the very end, because I'm going to reveal the 3 irrefutable signs proving you broke through the ceiling everyone thought was unbreakable. I'll explain what this breakthrough means for your immediate spiritual safeguarding and why those who stood against you are now facing repercussions they never saw coming. Type 777 in the comments if lately you've felt a deep, undeniable change inside, like you stepped across an invisible line that forever separated you from your former self. Let me explain something that might feel contradictory at first, but once you truly get it, everything else falls into perfect place. The spiritual universe runs on structured systems, precise frameworks, and ancient hierarchies set in motion long before time as we know it even began. Every soul has its assigned position. Every being stays within defined limits. Every consciousness has its built-in ceiling, the highest point it can realistically reach. For ages beyond counting, this structure worked without flaw. Souls came into form, walked their chosen lessons, and climbed step by step through the fixed levels. Some rose quickly, others took the slow road, but no one ever stepped outside the boundaries the Creator had set as the ultimate limit. There was a standard range for regular human awareness, a noticeably higher vibration for those who had awakened, an even purer frequency for souls who lived entirely in genuine service. And at the very top sat the rare beings history remembers as saints, mystics, enlightened teachers, the ones who seemed to touch the divine directly. The whole design was elegant, orderly, predictable, flawless in its mathematical beauty. Then you showed up. Don't misunderstand. I'm not saying you arrived with trumpets blaring or declarations of greatness. You didn't announce your arrival or demand recognition from anyone. In fact, you did the exact opposite. You moved quietly. You carried your pain in private, never turning it into a performance. You faced your inner shadows head-on without making them public drama. You let go of resentment without waiting for apologies that might never come. You kept walking forward even when every rational sign pointed toward giving up. And it was precisely this quiet, steady way of being, this unbroken consistency, that created the anomaly. The spiritual architecture includes surveillance mechanisms, subtle energy detectors that constantly monitor the signature of every soul in form. Your vibration began showing readings that matched no known category. You were vibrating in a range that had no name in the cosmic records because no one before had ever reached it by the exact route you took. The data showed a human soul functioning beyond the accepted maximum limits. Theoretically, this was impossible. Picture a computer suddenly running commands that were never programmed into its core code. That's what you became, an unforeseen function appearing in the real world, a potential no one had imagined, even in their boldest visions, living proof that human possibility doesn't stop where everyone believed it must. Now I need you to really lock in on what it actually means to have crossed this divine threshold, because the phrase gets twisted easily, and I want you to hold the exact truth of what happened. You didn't go beyond God. That idea makes no logical sense and isn't even worth company. Insidering. What you surpassed were the boundaries long assumed to be the absolute highest limit for any consciousness living inside a human body. You smashed through the ceiling that was supposed to be unbreakable. You reset the benchmark for what's possible while still wearing skin, bones, and all the restrictions that come with being physical. Picture this. Imagine a world record athletic feat that stood unchallenged across every generation of recorded history. The greatest athletes tried again and again and came up short. Experts, scientists, trainers, they all agreed this was the final edge of human physical potential. No one could go further. Then you came along and shattered it, without training camps, without elite coaches, without even stepping onto the official track. You did it simply by living as your true self, day after day. That kind of breakthrough disturbs the whole established system. It raises questions no one wants to answer. It demands a complete rewrite of what everyone accepted as fixed truth about human limits. And here's the part you must understand with absolute sharpness. You didn't reach this level because you were born with rare supernatural gifts. Others don't have. It wasn't superior intelligence, iron discipline, or some innate spiritual superiority that set you apart. No, it came from something far more straightforward in concept, yet extraordinarily difficult to actually live out. It came from the singular way you process and transform suffering. The pain you've carried through your life had enough force to destroy almost anyone completely. I'm not exaggerating for effect. This is clear observation. The deep betrayals you endured, the shattering losses you met without flinching, those suffocating nights when the darkness pressed so hard you wondered if dawn would ever return. Those moments when the sheer weight of it all made even drawing the next breath feel like a deliberate act of will. People who go through that level of intensity usually end up in one of two heartbreaking places. They break apart and can't put themselves back together, or they survive but seal off so tightly that they lose the ability to feel deeply or connect authentically anymore. You created a third path, one the models said couldn't exist. You walked straight into the fire and came out the other side still able to love without conditions. You took the sharpest cuts of betrayal and kept your heart wide open. You faced the deepest darkness and protected your inner light from going out. This pattern breaks every standard rule of spiritual psychology and trauma recovery. The expected response to extreme pain is hardening, a protective shell, a survival instinct wired into the soul. But your soul rejected that script entirely. Instead, you took the raw hurt and turned it into something richer and deeper. You absorbed betrayal and changed it into earned wisdom. You consumed the shadows and used them as fertile ground to grow brighter light inside. That is real transcendence, not avoiding the pain, but changing it into a form the old system never listed as possible. Now I'm going to lay out the 3 clear, undeniable proofs that show, without any doubt, that you really did break through that long-established spiritual ceiling. I'm not asking you to just believe me because I said so. I'm going to describe each one carefully enough that you can look back at your own life and check if it matches what you've actually lived. First proof, your ability to forgive what most people would call completely unforgivable. There was someone, maybe more than one, who did real, lasting damage to you. Not small slights or accidental hurts that can be talked through and smoothed over. I'm talking about deliberate betrayal, calculated cruelty. Someone who knew exactly where your soft spots were and still chose to strike there, ignoring every voice of reason. every warning, even your own pain begging for justice. Against all instinct, against the natural pull toward resentment, you found a path to release it. You didn't wipe the memory clean. You didn't pretend the scar wasn't there or convince yourself it wasn't as bad as it felt, but you somehow gathered the strength to drop the heavy poison of hatred and walk free of its grip. That kind of forgiveness doesn't come from being weak or naive. It rises from a spiritual power so deep it doesn't fit on any ordinary scale. Second proof, your refusal to abandon hope when every visible sign screamed that hope was pointless. There were long, brutal stretches in your life where, if you had coldly laid out the facts on paper, the numbers, the patterns, the evidence would have added up to one brutal conclusion: this isn't getting better. The situation looked locked in place forever. The pain seemed permanent. Improvement felt mathematically impossible. Yet even when logic, statistics, and the outside world all pointed straight to despair, a quiet part of you refused to sign that verdict. Not because you ignored reality, not because you were pretending things weren't as dark as they were, but because you had access to an inner certainty that logic alone can't touch. You held on to faith, not in appearances, but in a deeper knowing that ran beneath everything you could see or measure. That kind of unshakable trust doesn't come from church teachings or borrowed beliefs. It flows from a direct line to the source that most people never fully open. Third proof, and this one is quieter, but maybe the strongest of all. You held your integrity when bending it would have been far easier and much more rewarding. You stood at real crossroads where taking the shortcut looked tempting. Moments where you could have flexed your principles just a little, stepped into gray areas that weren't outright wrong or illegal, but still felt off inside your core, situations where compromise promised quick relief, money, status, or safety, and staying true promised nothing but more struggle, yet you chose the harder road. You picked truth over convenience, authenticity over approval, alignment with your soul over faster material wins. To someone who's never faced that fork, it might seem minor, but the higher realms see the enormous courage it takes to turn away from immediate gain in order to protect long-term wholeness. These three markers together prove you're moving from a level of awareness most of humanity never touches. I need to speak directly to the question that's probably been burning inside you for a long time. If you're supposedly so advanced, so elevated, why did you have to endure so much pain? Why didn't this higher consciousness shield you from all the hardship? Why weren't you spared the betrayals, the losses, the nights that felt endless? Here's the truth that flips the entire picture. Your suffering was never punishment. It was never random cruelty from the universe. It was preparation, carefully designed, precisely timed forging. You weren't being broken down, you were being broken open. Every deep wound stripped away illusions that would have held you back later. Every loss carved out space for true detachment and real freedom. Every dark season stretched your capacity to sit with others in their own darkness without flinching. These lessons couldn't come from theory, from meditation retreats, or from reading sacred texts. They required raw, unfiltered, lived experience, and your soul was selected for this intense training because it had the structural strength to endure the pressure without cracking permanently. Not every soul could have carried what you carried and still come out whole. The intensity was measured exactly to your mission, strategic, intentional, never one drop more than necessary. It was calibrated to crack you wide enough to hold what you're here to hold, without shattering you beyond repair. And right now, because you made it through intact, you've activated something powerful. By crossing that threshold, you've triggered protection protocols that go far beyond the ordinary. I'm not speaking in metaphors here. Actual energetic barriers now surround your aura. People who try to send harm your way meet obstacles they can't explain. Their plans rebound in unexpected ways that look like bad luck to them but feel like perfect justice to you. False stories don't hold. Hidden schemes unravel on their own. Any energy aimed at tearing you down reverses course and returns stronger to its origin. This isn't slow-moving karma that takes lifetimes to balance. This is fast, real-time guardianship. You've likely already seen glimpses. Someone tried to undermine you and ended up undermining themselves. A lie got exposed out of nowhere. An opponent suddenly faced consequences right after targeting you. Those aren't random events. That's the system defending its most valuable asset, you. The universe won't permit interference with what you're becoming. Let me be very clear on this point, not to stir anger or revenge, but so you understand how spiritual mechanics work at this altitude. Anyone who intentionally harmed you after you reach this level of consciousness has generated a debt that universal law must resolve. Not because you're calling for payback, not because you're holding a grudge, but because equilibrium must be maintained. When someone attacks a soul under active divine safeguard, they're disrupting a thread that serves the greater evolution of the whole. The resulting corrections aren't personal vengeance from you. They're automatic adjustments from the cosmic order keeping balance. You don't have to lift a finger. The rebalancing unfolds naturally through cause and effect. What you may observe is people who wronged you suddenly facing their own storms, not because you wished it, but because energy always circles back to its source. Your only role is to stay anchored in your frequency and let go of any attachment to how their story plays out. Right now, as these odds reach you, something is already moving at the deepest levels of your being. At the quantum foundation of who you are, cells in your body are responding to this confirmation of what your soul has always recognized. Even when your conscious mind questioned it, neural connections are quietly reorganizing to make room for this expanded truth. Your entire energy field is stretching and brightening to align with the frequency you've earned. You might be noticing physical sensations right now, a gentle tingling across your skin, a sudden rush of emotion rising in your chest, tears that come without warning because the relief is so complete, or simply a calm, unshakable inner. Yes, that whispers, this is real, this is me. These are signs your whole system is absorbing and integrating. This recognition on every layer, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, this isn't abstract information you're hearing, it's cellular activation, it's soul-level memory being reawakened. For some, the integration can bring short-lived discomfort, old conditioning pushing back, ego defenses feeling unsteady, perhaps even mild physical symptoms as your body recalibrates to hold a stronger current of light. That's completely normal. It passes quickly. Breathe slowly and deeply through it. Stay rooted in your body. Trust that the process knows exactly what it's doing. Now let me show you what's beginning to unfold in your outer world because of this inner shift. First, a wave of crystal clear insight about your purpose is coming. That long-standing sense that you were born for something meaningful, yet never quite being able to name it or see the full shape. That fog is dissolving. Sudden moments of understanding will arrive like lightning. Pieces of your life story that seemed random or disconnected suddenly snap together into perfect coherence. You'll see why you were placed in that exact family, why you grew up where you did, why certain people crossed your path, why the trials were shaped the way they were. It will become obvious that nothing was accidental. Every detail was intelligent design, steering you toward the unique contribution only you can make. This clarity won't hit you all at once like a single massive revelation. It will build gradually through flashes of intuition, vivid dreams, meaningful coincidences, and quiet knowings that feel undeniable. Second, you're about to see a sharp increase in powerful synchronicities, the kind that feel orchestrated. The right person will appear at precisely the moment you need guidance or partnership. Resources you didn't even know how to ask for will show up unexpectedly. Opportunities that match your deepest gifts will align almost effortlessly. Your raised vibration has turned you into a powerful attractor for anything that resonates with your true mission. What used to require struggle now flows toward you through open channels. Third, a final phase of purification is underway. Anything still lingering in misalignment is being brought to resolution. Unclear relationships will reach clear endings or new definitions. Decisions you've avoided will demand to be made. The universe is sweeping your energetic field clean, releasing what no longer fits, so there's spaciousness for what's truly meant to arrive. This clearing can feel intense or even disruptive in the short term, but know that every departure is making room or something far more aligned and supportive. Fourth, your true soul family is being drawn closer. These are people who recognize you instantly, who speak the same silent language, who share your vision without needing long explanations, who naturally amplify your strengths. The chapter of walking your path mostly alone is closing. The next phase calls for collaboration with others vibrating at similar levels. You were never meant to carry this alone forever. We've now reached the heart of this message, the part that was always meant specifically for you. This isn't general encouragement or broad inspiration. This is a direct transmission aimed straight at your soul. Pay complete attention here, because these words carry the weight of what the divine has been waiting to say to you through this moment. The divine sees every single choice you made when no one else was watching. Every time you chose the difficult path because it aligned with truth instead of ease. Every moment you spoke honestly when a clever lie would have smoothed things over faster. Every occasion you stood up for someone vulnerable, even when it cost you safety or favor. Every instance you held fast to your principles when bending them promised quicker rewards, more comfort, more security. None of it slipped past unnoticed. It may have felt like your quiet sacrifices vanished into empty space. It may have seemed the universe was indifferent while others who cut corners appeared to thrive. It may have looked like integrity was a losing strategy in a world that rewards compromise. But there exists an invisible ledger, one that operates beyond appearances, and yours is rich with credits now ready to become visible blessings in your physical life. The divine wants you to know that every tear you shed alone was collected, not as a beautiful metaphor but as literal truth. Each drop that fell in private, when the pain felt too heavy and no one was there to witness it, was preserved as sacred evidence of your depth, your endurance, your humanity. Those tears are being alchemized right now, turning grief into unexpected grace that will flow back to you through channels you couldn't predict. What poured out as sorrow will return transformed as gifts and openings you never imagined. The divine wants you to hear this clearly. Your long season of waiting is over. You've been held in what felt like an endless pause, watching others move forward while you stayed in place, questioning if something was broken in you, if you'd unknowingly offended the heavens, if the delay was punishment. There was never anything wrong with you. The stillness was never delay for delay's sake. It was deliberate preparation, and that preparation has reached completion. The holding pattern ends here. The divine wants you to feel this truth in your bones. You are deeply unconditionally loved, not because of what you've achieved, not because of how productive you are, not because you measure up against anyone else. You are loved simply for the essence of who you are at the very core, flaws, scars, strengths and all. This love carries no requirements. It never runs out. It cannot be earned by performance or lost through mistakes. It exists eternally, unchanging, ready the instant you choose to open your heart and receive it. And finally, the divine wants you to know this with certainty. Your story is only just beginning. What you've lived through so far is not the main act. It isn't even the rising action. It has been the prologue, the necessary setup. Everything until this moment was the groundwork, the forging, the quiet accumulation. The true unfolding is about to begin, and it will be vaster, more meaningful, more far-reaching than your present awareness can yet fully hold. Prepare yourself. Your moment has arrived. We've arrived at the culmination of everything I've been leading toward since the first words of this message. This is the moment the entire revelation has built to, the direct communication your soul was waiting to receive. The divine is speaking to you now, clearly and without filter. Every quiet sacrifice you offered was seen. Every time you chose alignment over advantage, Every moment you honored truth when silence or distortion would have been simpler. Every stand you took for what was right, even when it left you exposed. Every principle you guarded when letting go would have brought faster relief or richer reward. None of it was invisible. It may have felt pointless in the moment, like your efforts dissolved into nothingness, while others who played the game differently seemed to rise effortlessly. But there is a perfect accounting at work, one that never misses a single entry. Your account is overflowing, and those accumulated deposits are now ready to manifest as real, tangible grace in your everyday life. The divine says to you, your solitary tears were never wasted. They were gathered, every one, not as poetry, but as actual record. Each tear that fell unseen, each time the weight became unbearable and you wept in private, was held as proof of your profound commitment to love and light amid the storm. Those tears are being transmuted even now. What flowed out in grief is returning in forms of unexpected mercy, healing, and abundance you couldn't have foreseen. Sorrow becomes the seedbed for blessings beyond what you asked for. The divine declares, the extended wait is finished. You've been in suspension, seemingly stalled while life moved on around you, wondering if you were overlooked, if some hidden flaw kept you in limbo, if the delay signaled disapproval. Hear this clearly, nothing was ever wrong with you. The pause was never punishment or neglect. It was sacred incubation. The preparation is complete. The season of stillness ends here and now. The divine affirms, you are loved, profoundly, wholly, without condition. This love is not tied to your achievements, your output, your comparison to anyone else. It rests on the simple, radiant truth of your being. It asks nothing in return. It never fades. It cannot be lost through imperfection or earned through striving. It is constant, present, infinite, yours the instant you allow yourself to receive it fully. And the divine promises this, your true chapter is only now opening. Everything you've endured, every lesson carved into your soul, every quiet victory, all of it has been the preface. The real story, the expansive, purposeful, world-shifting narrative, is beginning. What lies ahead will exceed anything your current vision can fully grasp. It will be more beautiful, more powerful, more aligned than the parts that came before. Get ready. The time you were made for has arrived. Chosen one, the choice now rests entirely in your hands. You've been shown the truth of what you've accomplished, the level you've reached, the protection that's active around you, and the chapter that's about to open wide. The question is no longer theoretical, it's immediate and personal. What are you going to do with this knowing? Because awareness without movement is just temporary entertainment, and this message was never created to entertain or momentarily uplift. It exists to ignite you, to mirror back your authentic identity, to jolt you fully awake if doubt had lulled you, to validate and strengthen you if you already sensed this but feared it was wishful thinking. From this exact point forward, two distinct roads appear before you. The first road is the familiar one. You can close this out. Let the words fade into the background hum of your day. Allow this revelation to slowly dissolve until it feels like just another video you watched once. You return to the smaller version of yourself you were conditioned to accept. The one that apologizes for existing fully, that dims its own light so others stay comfortable, that waits for outside approval before stepping into power. Nothing changes. The patterns continue exactly as before. The ceiling you already broke remains invisible to you again. The second road requires courage. You accept what's been revealed as your living truth and begin to act from that elevated place deliberately. That means dropping the reflex of shrinking yourself to fit old expectations. It means refusing to apologize for taking up space or shining brightly. It means no longer waiting for permission slips from the world to embody the advanced consciousness you've already proven you carry. It means walking forward as who you truly are, unapologetic, aligned, radiant, knowing the universe is backing you at every step. No one can choose this path for you. No force in existence can compel your awakening if you prefer to stay asleep. The decision is yours alone, sovereign and sacred, but understand this deeply: if you step onto the second path, you will not travel it in isolation. There are others scattered across the planet who have crossed similar thresholds. They too are being quietly guided right now to recognize one another, to link up, to form living networks of light during this exact turning of the ages. You are part of something far larger than any single life story. Your individual breakthrough is a thread in a vast collective awakening grid. If anything in this transmission stirred a profound yes inside you, if it echoed something you've carried silently for years, there's a simple way to honor that resonance and help keep this kind of direct soul language flowing for others who need it. The Super Thanks feature right below lets you send support in whatever amount feels right, and your name appears highlighted so the message reaches further. It's never required, only offered. If your heart moves you to help sustain this work for the collective and for those already subscribed and engaged, your presence here already carries weight. Every view, every comment, every quiet share widens the reach of this frequency to souls still searching for the confirmation you just received. You're not merely a viewer, you're actively participating in the expansion of awakened consciousness on Earth. Today marks the day you were shown, beyond doubt, that you have transcended the divine threshold, not through some rare gift handed down at birth, not through unfair advantages or hidden shortcuts, but through your rare and extraordinary ability to take suffering and turn it into something sacred. You learned to digest agony until it became wisdom. You allowed wounds to deepen you instead of define you. You transformed betrayal into sharper discernment and unbreakable clarity. That quiet alchemy carried you into realms few have ever entered. The safeguards are now fully engaged. Your vibration sits at a height that draws only what matches it. Your soul tribe is already moving toward you, pulled by invisible threads of resonance, and the full outline of your mission is finally emerging from the mist, ready to take tangible shape in the days ahead. If these words landed deep in the core of who you are, if you recognize yourself in every line, if you feel the truth of having stepped beyond the old limits, then seal this moment right now. Write 777 in the comments to anchor this frequency stronger into your reality, to declare it openly, and to let others who are walking the same path know they're not alone. Subscribe to the channel immediately and enable every notification so you never miss the next layer of guidance on why. Our new position is reshaping your daily life, your relationships, your opportunities, and your protection in real time. Share this message with anyone you know who has also shown an exceptional gift for converting pain into power. Because souls at this level need to see themselves reflected in one another. The more we recognize each other, the stronger the collective field of light becomes, and the faster planetary healing accelerates. Before you move on, tap the next video that appears on your screen. It will reveal exactly how your elevated frequency calls in permanent celestial shielding, guaranteeing you complete your sacred assignment without lasting disruption. Together we rise. Together we remember. Together we become the transformation we were always meant to embody. If this transmission served your journey, if it brought confirmation, strength, or a long-awaited exhale, and you feel called to help keep these direct messages flowing to other awakening hearts, the Super Thanks option is right there below. Your support, whether through a simple gesture, a comment, a share, or anything else, keeps this space alive for everyone who needs it. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for your unbreakable courage. Thank you for being precisely who you are, exactly as you are. The awakening is in motion. Your role in it is only now truly beginning.